Hey everyone, it's Talia here. Welcome back to another tutorial video on my channel. Today we have my mom's nails, but these nails were done back in November. I do think it is a good time to post these nails though, because they are a great kind of transitional design, whereas they're kind of a winter floral with the color palette that we have going on, but they're a little bit brighter. So they're a great type of nail to do now when it's still winter, but you're kind of ready for spring nails. And this video is not going to be a watch me work, but I have left some of the audio and discussion in on how we came up with this design and color palette right at the beginning. So I'll show you guys that and then we'll jump into the tutorial. Silver. You want silver? I don't want silver. 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 Okay, so mom has come prepared. This is the flower that she's really liking. So I think we're gonna use this as inspiration. So does this mean you want floral nails? Yes. Or okay,
yes,
like, or just the colors.
I also like the variegating on the leaves, how they've got green and yellow, and
oh, yeah.
You'll see that out of focus on other ones. Whoops, this way.
Oh yeah,
yeah, they got.
That's a really hard one.
That's. Do we have variegated leaves there? We do.
A little bit, yeah.
So they're dark on the outside, light on the inside, just like the flowers, dark on the outside, light on the inside.
But we need to find a blue, which I will show you Justice because I feel like you might like that one.
Would you rather have blue than the Made of Money?
Nope, we're gonna use that one too.
Oh, okay. I thought there were only 3 levels. Oh my goodness.
So Justice is like an indigo because depending on how you look at it, it's gonna be purple or it's gonna be blue. It's so pretty. And I honestly can't even remember the last time I used it. And I love this color.
Do you want to use that instead of the other purple?
No, we're using all of them.
Are we? Okay.
That's our palette.
Beautiful.
With the silver.
Beautiful colors.
Right?
Yep.
What? You must not have been listening.
With silver. I know, I heard you say
Do you actually
silver.
want a silver?
Well, no, but it is the season if I'm going to let you get away with it.
You don't have to have glitter though. Like we can do like white accents or something instead.
I leave it that all in your capable hands. All I'm asking you for is the purple and blue, or purple and green, or purple and blue and green, and then green and white or green and yellow variegated leaves.
Okay.
Everything else is up to you.
Okay, we'll see what happens then. Let's see your last nails that I didn't take a picture of or film. I don't know why. I just felt like they were too much.
And look at those, look at that. Beautiful.
This is pretty. Yeah. I do. That's the only nail I like. I just envisioned these a little bit different, I think.
Well, I was talking to you about just doing an outline of stamping, so I think it's just a little much. I don't know.
I love these. Really? You don't like these ones as much though, hey?
Well, that blue underneath is so glittery, sparkly.
Yeah.
And I don't get to see it very much. But no, how could I not like anything you do?
I just felt like there was an off day with that set. I feel like I was having an off day. The first color I'm going to take is Light Elegance's Made of Money. Now I'm only going to use this on one nail, and it is going to be her pinky nail on her right hand. I wanted to make sure that I was incorporating a lot more of that Bougie Babe as well as the white background. So I didn't want to do a ton of this green color or Justice, but I do want to make sure that it is on the main set of her fingers so that when I'm taking a picture it shows up. Justice from Light Elegance is an oldie but a goodie. It is truly just such a popular color because it is a great indigo color. So in the container there, I thought it looked a little bit more blue, but now that I'm applying it to her nails, it looks more purple. It's definitely one of those in-between colors, and it's a great color to use if you're going to pair some other colors that have, say, blue and purple elements to it, which is exactly what I wanted to do in this particular design with those florals. So I'm putting this all over the pinky on her left hand. I feel like this is supposed to be Bougie Babe, but the way that it's spelled, I'm pretty sure it's Boogie Babe, so whatever. This color that came out in the winter collection, I'm going to use all over her thumbnail on her right hand, And then I'm also going to use it on her pointer finger on her left hand. So sometimes I like to alternate the different colors like this, just depending on how much of a different color I want to have on the entire nail design. This is another color that's great because depending on how you look at it, it's either purple or it's like a maroon burgundy type of color. It's truly unique to any sort of color that I have in my collection, and I really like using it. The only thing I find with this color though is I feel like it might need a second coat to kind of cover up any shadowing that it has. But the reason that it has a little bit of shadowing is because it varies from like a purple to a maroon. So if you just wanted a little bit more pigmented to not show like anything underneath it, I would recommend doing like a really thin coat on top of it too. It's not necessary, it's just kind of personal preference with that. One of my personal hands down favorite glitter gels that Light Elegance has ever come out with is I Missed You. I love this because it's a pewter silver glitter. It's super concentrated, but it has cool tones and warm tones to it, so you can truly pair it with anything. And I decided to put this all over her pointer finger on her right hand, as well as the thumbnail on her left hand. So again, you don't have to do the colors to match on every single hand. I just find that if you pair colors that coordinate, you really can just kind of mix and match with what you want to do and just follow your heart with that specific design, as one of my really good friends would say. Light Elegance's white swimsuit is a great kind of muted pearl, bright white at the same time. I originally was going to use Fusion's Walk the Stage, which you guys know I love because it's a true bright white, but then I decided that I didn't want a super bright white. I wanted to kind of tone down a little bit more. That way the flowers pop a little bit more on top of it. And I want the florals to be the primary thing that your eyes are drawn to when you're looking at this nail design, which is why they're going to go on her middle finger and her ring finger. My next step is to embed all of these colors. I'm using my Fusion SL Clear. For the stamping today, we're going to do something a little bit different. We're going to use 2 and 3 colors to create kind of like a blended layer look with the florals. Now, the floral stamping plate that I'm using is Sketch Garden, and I believe for the leaves I use All Is Rosy as well. So all I'm doing here is I'm piling a purple around the outside of the flower and then dropping a little bit of blue in the middle of it. And then that way it looks like it's this really nice gradient effect when I stamp it. But I'm not going to do that for every single flower. I'm going to kind of vary them a little bit, whether there's blue on the outside or purple on the outside. Eventually you guys are going to see 3 colors thrown into it, but the technique is the same. I just use 2 stamping polishes kind of at the same time, swipe them so that they blend together. Make sure you swipe really quick, because if you swipe like not quick and you go kind of slow, it's just going to make the polishes kind of layer over top of each other, which is not what we want. We want them to look more blended. I also decided to outline in black. This way it makes the design look a little bit darker because they are winter florals. But if you wanted them to look a little bit brighter, you could use some like lighter blues or purples, or you could even use a silver, and that would make it look a little bit brighter, which would be great for like spring coming up here as well. Whenever I do a floral design like this, I kind of stagger the florals a little bit. So you'll see on this nail here, we've got 2 on the edges, and then I did decide to put 1 in the middle. We're going to move to the other hand eventually as well, which is going to have florals kind of surrounding the outside of it too. I like to vary them and I like to stagger them because I love the different effects that you can do with florals. And I always stamp the majority of my flowers first and then go in with my greenery. I just find that if you stamp greenery first, that sometimes it gets covered up too much and it's hard to kind of make them pop through. Also, if you're using lighter colors on top of the greenery, then the greenery is going to show through with it, and I personally just don't like that look. But definitely play around with it, because sometimes if you stamp greenery first, it does look really cool, which you guys saw in the winter floral design that I did for my mom at Christmas. Geez, she's had a lot of florals lately. I'm gonna have to do something else for her the next time. When it comes to the greenery, I'm staggering my colors between like a medium green and a light kind of yellowy green because my mom really wanted to tie those colors all together. But I like using a variety of different colors of green when I'm stamping any sort of leaves. And I also love stamping green leaves with florals. I've said this before, but sometimes clients get kind of like scared when you bring in greens onto their nails like this. But I feel like with floral designs, it really just makes them look more real and more true to life. And I feel like it almost completes the floral design too. Now, I don't use florals in combination with greenery all of the time, but a lot of the time if I want them to look more realistic, I definitely suggest it. And sometimes with my clients, I tell them like, okay, let me just put it on. If we really don't like it, we'll take it off and redo it. And a lot of the times they are all for the greenery because it really just brings the entire floral design together. Now, I wish I would have done this sooner in this entire nail design, but I decided to go in with 3 colors, kind of a turquoise color, that really bright blue color, and then the kind of purple color. And I love when this is all combined together, what this floral ends up looking like. So I truly wish I would have decided to do that a little bit sooner. I love the way the 3 colors kind of blend together and it ties the entire nail design together. I was loving how good the 3 colors looked that I decided to go back onto this nail on the ring finger on her right hand and add another floral embellishment as well as some more greenery because I just thought it looked so good when there was a lot of white in the center of the nail and then the florals kind of surrounded it. Onto her purple nails, I did decide to throw in this white floral. This was kind of a last minute thing. I do like how it turned out, but I'm not entirely sure if it goes together with the entire design. I believe originally I had planned to put Swarovski crystals on my mom's nails on the pointer finger, but she has a hard time wearing Swarovskis on her pointer finger because she uses them so much for work, so then I had to last minute change it. So I do like how the white turned out because it does tie the white from the white swimsuit into it, but at the same time I wish I would have thought about this a little bit more because I could have probably come up with something else for that design as well. Really, the only fingers that I would want to put Swarovski crystals on would be her pinky fingers because the other one has glitter and then the other purple ones have those florals that I wouldn't want to cover up. So we decided to do a crystal embellishment on her pinkies. Now, my mom, she has on her left hand what we like to call a dinky pinky. It's so skinny. So I always put like a really large crystal on the right hand one. So this is an SS20. And then on her left hand one, I cannot fit a crystal that big. So we usually put like an SS16 or an SS12. And it's something that I always tend to remember like after because I usually do the right hand first and then I do the left hand. So once I get to the left hand, I'm like, wait a sec, a 20 crystal doesn't fit on here. Anyway, besides the point, this is what the nail turned out like with some Swarovski crystals on it. So I put a big one in the center, I surrounded it by smaller ones, and then I'm just going to alternate between a few different sizes heading down the nail to just make it look like a little jewel. I decided to do the same type of embellishment on her dinky pinky, except I am using purple and green crystals, whereas on the other nail I was using blue crystals because the background was green and this background, well, Justice is like a bluish purple, so which is why I decided to go with adding purple instead of blue. Anyway, this is how this one turned out. Isn't I Missed You just such a beautiful color? I love that glitter so much. And all I'm doing here is top glossing, and I do find that a lot of the times it doesn't really matter what type of top gloss I use around stamping, it seems to separate. So some of my tips for doing top gloss that is separating on your stamping is to kind of apply it a little bit more heavily. I find this, you can avoid the separation, or it's not as bad of a separation if you do that. And I always go in and double coat over top of stamping, even if I have a top coat that is not separating too much, just in case there's any sort of separating that I miss and that I would see later down the road. I find both of those tips help when it comes to the separating over stamping, which I know many of you have mentioned happens. And it definitely, I find, happens a lot more when you use a tack-free top coat, but I much prefer using a tack-free top coat, so I will just add the extra steps in so that I can use it. Thank you guys so much for taking the time to watch this tutorial video. I hope that you enjoyed it. I will be doing my mom's nails right away here, so I want to know what you guys want to see a tutorial on my mom's nails next. If I have the time, I'll be able to do it as a watch me work, but if not, it'll be a tutorial. But she generally, for the most part, doesn't really care what I do on her nails. So if there's anything specific you guys want to see, comment below and let me know, and I will try and do it on her nails. Make sure you're following me on all my social media, and I'll see you guys in the next video. Bye!